नमो नमः सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः अंदरिकी नमस्कारमुलु. Today is another good day for all of us that we are going to have another lecture from Purushotham Rao garu on Sri Aurobindo Poorna Yoga. I will introduce the speaker to all of you. After we recite Vande Mataram and chant Prarthana. So now I request Krishna Kumar garu to recite Vande Mataram, please.
सर्वेभ्यो नमस्कारः. वंदे मातरम वंदे मातरम सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वंदे मातरम. शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमिता धूमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरं वन्दे मातरं.
వందే మాతరం. ధన్యవాదములండి కృష్ణ కుమార్ గారు. Now let us request Govindaraj garu to chant Prarthana, please.
Sarvebhyo Namaskaraha. Let us start with meditation. Sit with your back straight and gently close your eyes and focus on your breath.
మ్యూట్ చేశాది, వాయిస్ మ్యూట్ చేశాను.
Let us now chant Om 3 times. Om. 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 Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashunvannotibhissidasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinamavityavatu. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave. न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मां पाहि गुरो ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
హరి ఓం. ధన్యవాదములండి గోవిందరాజు గారు. Now it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce the speaker of today, Dr. Purushotham Rao garu. He is MSc in Zoology from Usmania 1968 and PhD in Insect Toxicology from RRL. Now it is IICT Hyderabad, 1974. Same year he joined Usmania University as a lecturer in zoology and posted at then the PG Center at Warangal, which later became the Kakatiya University. There he served as HOD, Dean, Senate member, and as registrar of the university. Also founded a PG department of sericulture, continued as founder head for 16 years till his retirement. As postdoctoral scholar, worked on Indo-Soviet Fellowship at Azerbaijan State University, USSR, 1978-79, and as WHO scholar at Czech Academy of Sciences, Prague, Czechoslovakia, 80-81, on senior Fulbright Fellowship at NIEHS, North Carolina, USA, 1986, and on FAO Fellowship at the University of California, Riverside Campus, USA in 1987. He supervised 30 students for the award of PhD degree in entomology and sericulture. After retirement in 2005, pursued learning of Sanskrit language, completed Prathama and Dvitiya Diksha courses of Rashtriya Sanskrit Samasthan, New Delhi, from Sanskrit Academy, Hyderabad, and the then PG Diploma and MA Sanskrit from Usmania University. He passed level 1 and 2 of Sanatana Dharma courses conducted by our organization, that is Veda Samskruti Samiti, and he has participated actively on all these courses. He has already given one lecture earlier during last year, and this is the second webinar he is taking on Arabindo, the Poorna Yoga. For the last 18 years, closely associated with Institute of Human Studies and Sri Aurobindo International School, Vidyanagar, Hyderabad. He visited Sri Aurobindo Ashram at Pondicherry for several times and participated in workshops, seminars, etc. With this brief introduction, I will let us request welcome him for this webinar session and request him to start the webinar, please. You have to unmute and then. Please unmute.
Namaste. At the outset, I would like to thank all the members of the Veda Samskruti Samiti, and particularly Sri Akila Prabhakar Rao Garu and Colonel Babu Garu for giving this wonderful opportunity to give a talk for the second time through this platform. Before going into the details of the Purna Yoga of Sri Aurobindo, I would like to briefly narrate the life of Sri Aurobindo, which is quite interesting and also highly inspiring. Just a minute, I'm trying to explain. Sri Aurobindo was a teacher, a journalist, a yogi, a mystic philosopher, a Maharshi, and above all, he was the propounder of the divine bliss. Few people know about him as an aggressive and active participant of Indian independence. Sri Aurobindo was born on 15th August 1872 in Kolkata in a well-to-do family. His father, Dr. Krishnakant Ghosh, was a popular medical practitioner. His mother, Srimati Swarnalata Devi, was orthodoxy, still well-educated, a prolific writer of short stories and dramas. He was the third son of his parents, who had 4 sons and a daughter. Sri Aurobindo means lotus in occult language. It also signifies the divine consciousness. He grew up completely in an English environment ignorant of even his mother tongue. When Sri Aurobindo was 5 years old, he was sent to Loreto Convent School in Darjeeling. It was a school meant for European children. Since Dr. Ghosh, Arabindo's father, wanted his three sons, the uh, other two children were born later in England. So his three sons, while he was in India, to be brought up only in European style. In 1881, he moved his family to England. There he has created such an ambience that they must not meet any Indians. That is, Arabindo and his brothers must not meet any Indians or have Indian influence. Thus, Arabindo grew up entirely ignorant of India, its people, its religion, or culture. Though he passed high in first of tripass, which if completed he is qualified for his BA degree, but he did not care to complete it. Thus, he did not graduate at Cambridge. During this time, Arabindo began to take interest in Indian politics. Already he had been experiencing a thought that he had a part to play in some great movement. At this juncture, it has taken a shape that he should work in the liberation of his country. But it took next 4 years to get this idea consolidated. While in Cambridge, he has delivered several revolutionary and emotional speeches also. Sri Aurobindo's father wanted him to become ICS. Therefore, in spite of Sri Aurobindo's dislike to serve the British, he appeared for the examination and got admitted into ICS, but he ignored practicing horse riding. Thus, he was disqualified in the horse riding test and not qualified for the civil service. Back to India. Sri Aurobindo left England in January 1893. He reached India with a clear agenda to fight for its freedom. Already his father, Dr. Purushotham Ghosh, was in India and was anxiously waiting to receive his son. But he was misinformed that the ship in which Aurobindo was traveling has sunk off in the coast of Portugal. On hearing this news, Dr. Ghosh died due to heart attack. Sri Aurobindo has joined in the state services of Baroda Prince, for which he got appointment orders while in England only. After some initial service in different departments, at his request, Aurobindo was appointed as English teacher at Baroda Maharaja College. Later, he became principal of the college and used to be invited by the Maharaja to his palace, where he used to attend his personal works also. Sri Aurobindo was calm, reserved, benevolent, and was respected highly wherever he was. Though he was grown in a high-profile society in England, he was very simple in dress or food habits. He never bothered to save money. Whatever salary he gets, he used to spend it liberally to help others. During his stay in Baroda, he has learnt Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, and also Sanskrit. Study of Sanskrit opened to Sri Aurobindo immense treasure of Indian heritage. He read Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Puranas, Itihasas, etc. He became very familiar with the works of Bhartrhari, Kalidasa, etc. Then he discovered secret of unparalleled greatness of Indian culture. His soul caught fire in discovering the greatness of India. Sri Aurobindo discovered himself, his soul. The work he has accomplished in future, he has to accomplish in future also. It was a transforming revelation. By knowing about ancient India, Sri Aurobindo has visualized building a greater India of the future. He keenly followed the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, the speeches of and writings of Swami Vivekananda. He had the highest regard and admiration to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. With the establishment of Bengal National College and an invitation to him to join as its principal, Sri Aurobindo resigned his position in Baroda and went to Kolkata in 1906. Accepting the principal's post and moving to his native state was only to plunge into the political movement and a total dedication to it. Already, while he was in Baroda, Aurobindo took active interest in Indian independence movement. He got associated with the resistance groups in Bengal and Madhya Pradesh. He came in contact with Lokmanya Tilak and sister Nivedita. He got married to Mrinalini, daughter of Bhupal Chandra Bose, a senior official in the government service. She died in 1918 due to influenza pandemic. In 1902, he attended the Ahmedabad Congress session. Again in 1904, the Bombay session, and also in 1905, the Benares session. And at all the three sessions, Sri Aurobindo tried to prevail upon the leaders to fight for total independence from the British rule and no compromise. Though he had plans to fight for Indian independence much before coming to India, his actual political activity started only after the Bengal partition in 1905. The Renaissance movement in India, pioneered by Raja Rammohun Rai, also started with focal point of Bengal partition. It clearly triggered a national spirit, giving rise to a vision and direction towards freedom movement in India. At this juncture, Sri Aurobindo identified nationalism with Sanatana Dharma and proclaimed that it is Sanatana Dharma which for us is nationalism. He believed that freedom of India, a promise and a precondition of eventual freedom of the soul of India and body of the Commonwealth countries community. So he was not only interested in the political freedom of India, but he was also looking at the spiritual freedom of India, the soul of India, and also the whole community of the Commonwealth countries. Sri Aurobindo's spiritual genius and mystical character of his patriotism was unfolding, and almost all the great leaders of the time perceived something of the glowing spiritual fire and dynamism of his personality and hailed him with one voice as the biggest star of the political movement of India and the voice incarnate. Thus, Sri Aurobindo's politics was the politics of a yogi divinely directed, preluding and preparing for the rebirth of the soul of India. Sri Aurobindo participated in 1906 Congress meet headed by Dadabai Nauroji. In 1907 Congress meet at Surat, where the moderates and the extremists had a major showdown in which he sided with the extremists along with Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Later in May 1905, he was arrested in connection with Alipur bomb case and kept in an isolated incarceration. But due to the murder of the chief prosecution witness within the prison, Sri Aurobindo was acquitted and released after 1 year imprisonment. Then he started two publications called Karma Yogi in English and Dharma in Bengali. While in jail, he has visualized the time to study various. He has utilized the time to study various Indian scriptures and continue practicing the yoga and meditation. In his autobiography, Sri Aurobindo said that he felt a vast sense of calmness when he first came back to India. He knew nothing of yoga at the time, but started practicing it. In 1907, his younger brother Barvin introduced him to Vishnu Bhaskar Lele, a Maharashtrian yogi, who advised and guided Sri Aurobindo to depend on his inner guide without looking for any external guide. Then onwards, the attitude of Sri Aurobindo has changed drastically towards spirituality. His vision has expanded from a mere freedom for India to the future of entire mankind in the world. When he came out of the prison, he noticed a sort of slumberness in the national movement for independence. Many top leaders either got arrested voluntarily or went into oblivion. Still, Sri Aurobindo wanted to revive the mood towards an aggressive fight by conducting various meetings, but the public response was not like the one it was earlier. At a meeting held at a place called Uttarapara in West Bengal, he has for the first time spoke about his spiritual experiences and thoughts. Meanwhile, his open letter to public in Karmayogi paper not to cooperate with the British government till they agree for a total transfer of the power. It has sparked an idea in British government to send Sri Aurobindo into exile. At this juncture, Sri Aurobindo was seriously thinking as how to face the situation. Meanwhile, he got a secret message that he is going to be arrested again. Suddenly, Sri Aurobindo was prompted within himself to go to Chandranagar, a place which is under French India at the time. He immediately proceeded, leaving the responsibility of his publications, Dharma Yogi and Dharma, to Sister Nivedita to continue. From Chandranagar, he has proceeded to Pondicherry, then a French colony. A warrant which was issued by the British government on Sri Aurobindo for arrest was withdrawn as he has already crossed the borders of their rule. The ashram at Pondicherry. At the beginning of his stay in Pondicherry, few followers were there and all were living together. Sri Aurobindo reached Pondicherry in 1910, as I already said. So at the beginning of his stay in Pondicherry, few followers were there and were living together at a rental house. But as the number of followers increased, in 1926, the ashram was established. For a few years, Sri Aurobindo was in regular correspondence with his disciples and used to reply them with his comments on their queries and also share their spiritual practices. All these were published in later years as the letters on yoga. Now we'll know something about the mother. The mother is considered to be a close spiritual collaborator of Sri Aurobindo. Her original name is Mirra Alfasa, popularly known as the mother after she settled in Pondicherry. She is a French national born in Paris on 21st February 1878. She studied occultism in Paris. For the first time, she met Sri Aurobindo in 1914 when she came to Pondicherry along with her husband, an officer in foreign affairs of the French government. She could recollect the images in her dreams matching to Sri Aurobindo and decided to collaborate with him in spiritual aspects. Finally, she settled down in Pondicherry in the year 1920. In 1926, when Sri Aurobindo retired into a total seclusion, he left the complete responsibility of ashram to her for its development and administration. He declared to his disciples as she is the mother who will take care of everyone in the ashram. Thus, he totally withdrew from the routine things and said that the mother is the Shakti who will shape his spiritual vision into practicality. Then onwards, mother involved in developing the ashram with inmates, their families, on the lines as Sri Aurobindo wanted. Sri Aurobindo kept himself busy with meditation and silence till his death in 1950. That means from 1926 onwards to 1950, almost for 25 years, he was in total silence and he was only giving darshan to the devotees without uttering a word. The mother has conceived the concept of a global village and collecting soil from about 180 countries has built a meditation center around which a colony of people from different countries have come down and settled there. It has become a famous Auroville located on Chennai Pondi Road, close to Pondicherry city. Here, every inmate works and earns his own living, apart from doing social work collectively to maintain Auroville. It is developed on the lines of Sri Aurobindo concept that India to lead the world for its spiritual evolution and oneness of the human race. We know something about Sri Aurobindo's writings. Although he was quite familiar with Western philosophy, Sri Aurobindo did not acknowledge their influence on his writings. He has admitted that his philosophy is based on his study of Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, followed by his own spiritual experiences leading towards his own philosophy. In 1910, Sri Aurobindo withdrew himself from the politics and dedicated himself to spiritual and philosophical pursuits. In 1914, after 4 years of intensive yoga, he started a monthly magazine, Arya, in which he contributed articles regularly on life divine, synthesis of yoga, essays on Gita, the secrets of Veda, the hymns to the mystic fire, the Upanishads, the Renaissance of India, the human cycle, the ideal human unity, etc. In the later years, almost all these works have come in the form of books. In his book on Renaissance of India, he has acknowledged the greatness of Upanishads. His indebtedness to the Indian tradition is obvious from the large number of quotations he cited in Life Divine from Rig Veda, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita. It clearly shows that the thought flow of Sri Aurobindo is closely connected to Vedas and Vedanta. He wrote commentary on Isha Upanishad and also made a clear analysis of Upanishads. According to some Indian philosophers, Isha Upanishads must be the source for writing of the Life Divine by Sri Aurobindo. Of all his writings, a special mention is required on Savitri, an epic poem which is considered so sacred by the Arabindonians that they will treat it like Bhagavad Gita and recite daily. Sri Aurobindo started writing Savitri right from his days in Baroda and continued till 1926. Almost for 2 decades, he devoted on writing and rewriting Savitri. Its original story appears in Mahabharata as the story of Sati Savitri and her husband, King Satya Harishchandra, which is very familiar to all of us. Sri Aurobindo saw in it some great event that must have taken place in an early cycle of Aryan people, which he thought of reopening. Savitri is the incarnation of goddess Saraswati. She is the divine grace in human form. Her father, Ashwapati, is considered to be the lord of force, lord of spiritual power, strength, and light. Ashwa in Vedas symbolizes the life energy. Satyavan, husband of Savitri, and his father, Dyumasena. Dyumat means shining, Sena is the host. So that is a divine mind full of rays of divine light. It exiled from its own kingdom of light and came down to earth, blinded by ignorance. This is how Sri Aurobindo unveils the symbolism behind this simple story in Mahabharata. In this epic, he works upon a large picture of history, geography, poetry, science, philosophy, etc. In this Savitri, he deals with the origin of man, birth of the universe, birth of the gods, from religious, mythological, scientific, philosophical, as well as yogic angles. Again and again, he takes up the same theme, but from different standpoints. That is how the Savitri is written by Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo's spiritual vision. Now we are actually coming to the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo did not deny our scriptures. In fact, he has thoroughly studied them while he was in Alipur prison. Our Vedas, Upanishads, Darshanas, etc. have greatly inspired him so much that he has totally withdrawn from the active politics in which he was the front runner for total independence of India from British rule. As we know that the traditional yoga works to unite the individual soul with the divine self. The individual soul with the universal divine self while liberating it from the bondage of ego and desire. By emphasizing the ascent of the ordinary human consciousness into the higher divine consciousness. The integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo, while accepting the intrinsic importance of these goals of traditional yoga, that is emphasizing the ascent of ordinary human consciousness to higher levels, places equal, if not greater emphasis on the need for the descent of the light and power of the divine consciousness into the mind, life, and body of the individual in order to fully transform him. This is the crux of the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, where he expects not only ascent of the consciousness of human being, as we normally practice in regular yoga and what is being there in our scriptures, but he also emphasizes the need for the descent of the divinity into the life, body, and mind of the terrestrial life. Sri Aurobindo found an inevitability of a step in evolution which would raise man to a higher and larger consciousness and bring solution to the problem which has perplexed and vexed him since he first began to think and dream of an individual perfection and perfect society. Nature, too, which is consciously and subconsciously trying to realize her own perfection in even increasing expression of her yet unrealized potentialities and to unite with her own divine reality. Indeed, in human being, as her instrument, she, that is the nature, can expedite and more effectively attain her objective by using for the first time self-conscious means and willed arrangement of the activity. Predicting the arrival of a new species, Sri Aurobindo wrote that just as the animal is a living lab in which nature, as it is said, worked out man, that is from the uh, animal stage, from the creeping animal, from unicellular animal, we know that it has come to the multicellular, then it has come to the quadruped, then it has come to biped, that is human being, Homo sapiens. So it is an evolution which he is describing as worked out by the nature. Similarly, man himself may well be a thinking and living lab in whom, with whose conscious cooperation, nature will work out or manifest the Superman, the God. He concluded that if it be true that spirit is involved in matter, then the manifestation of the divine in himself and the realization of God within and without are the highest and the most legitimate aspects possible to man upon earth. So the matter, if he is having really spirit, divinity in it, it should manifest further. It cannot stop at the stage. That is the opinion of Sri Aurobindo. And nature is perfectly going to work out that it is on the way of doing it. There will be a descent of Purusha, the divine soul submitting itself to force, the matter, so that it illuminates the world of innocence and inconscience and ignorance. Sri Aurobindo believed that Darwinism merely described the phenomenon of the evolution of matter to matter into life, but does not explain the reason behind it. While Sri Aurobindo says that life is already present in the matter because all the existence is the manifestation of Brahman. As we all know that Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridaya Sarjam Siddhati and then Ishavasimidam Sarvam Yatkinchi Digatyam Jagat. So all this shows that Ishvara is everywhere, living, non-living matter, and all creatures also. So that is what he is repeating here. While Sri Aurobindo says life is already present in the matter because all the existence is a manifestation of Brahman. He argues that nature, which according to him is the divine and has evolved life out of matter and the mind out of life. All existence, Sri Aurobindo believes, is attempting to manifest to the level of higher consciousness, supermind, that is supermind, which has a purpose. This is the center of his metaphysical concept, which is an intermediary power between the unmanifested Brahman and the manifested world. According to Sri Aurobindo, supermind is not something new. It is already within all of us. He says the idea of supermind is not his finding, but it is in Vedas itself, and the Vedic devatas possess powers of the supermind. In his integral or Poorna Yoga, it is called. It's also Poorna Yoga or it is also called integral yoga. So he declares supermind means the truth consciousness of the divine nature. It is always a glowing light and knowledge superior to the ordinary mind. Supermind is a bridge between Satchitananda and the lower manifestation. Therefore, through the supramental, the ordinary mind, body, and life can be spiritually transformed as supposed to be the Satchitananda. The descent of supermind means the creation of supramental race on earth. This is the triple transformation which is conceived by Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo's Purna Yoga is based on the triple transformation which I mentioned briefly as follows. Sri Aurobindo's Poorna Yoga, first step is, first there must be a psychic change by the conversion of our whole present nature into a soul consciousness, one making a total spiritual change. Then stage 2, next descent of higher consciousness, which is also called as overmental consciousness. It leads to a total transformation of our terrestrial existence, which is the main purpose of evolution. Then the stage 3, we can see this is the final stage of evolution, causing a radical change in the whole of terrestrial life. There will be a supramental change in physical, vital, and mental faculties due to ascent to supermind, and transition is a passage from nature to supernature and the human beings into the Gnostic beings. That is his concept. Then we can see the order of evolution at these 3 stages as described by Sri Aurobindo in Life Divine Volume 2, Part 2 is as follows. It starts with matter, life, psyche or soul, then mind, which constitutes the lower hemisphere. Similarly, supermind, bliss, consciousness, force, and existence, these 4 constitute the higher hemisphere. Consciousness, force, and existence, these constituting the higher hemisphere. Among these, the knot between the lower and the higher hemispheres is where the mind and the supermind meet, with a veil between them. By the breakage or disappearance of the veil, the higher supermind will descend into the nature of the lower being. This followed by a forceful ascent of the lower being into the nature of higher levels. Thus, the mind turns to divine light with a supermind, psyche, soul, the psyche or soul realizing its divine self and blissful ananda. Life reposes its divine power with omnipotent conscious force. Finally, matter opens to its divine liberty as a form of divine existence. So this is the exact concept of Sri Aurobindo, that there are 2 levels, lower level and higher level of the consciousness, and the higher level of consciousness has to descend down, and that is how the lower level will be lifted up into the divine consciousness and the divine existence. The ordinary human mind to evolve and reach the stage where the veil is broken, opening to supermind, Sri Aurobindo has described 4 stages of evolution. They are the order of higher mind, a preliminary stage of human mind, which reaches to the level of thinking and questioning. From the ordinary mind, it has come to the higher mind level. Ordinary mind is what everybody commonly has. Then higher mind, and after that illumined mind, the next level, higher level. From a mere thinking to a pointed focus on the life, nature, and human evolution. Then intuitive mind, which thinks about the divinity and supramental creation. And this, the ultimate one is overmind, broadening of thoughts at higher level, leaving behind its physical entity and in a state of spiritual consciousness. So thus the ascent of ordinary mind to overmind, which is almost a supermind state, has been clearly narrated by Sri Aurobindo in his historic work of The Life Divine, Volume 2. Now at this stage, we will go into the practical experience, life experience of the mother, that is called the Golden Day, 29th of February 1950. This is the version which is practically mother herself has uttered. This evening, that means on 29th of February 1950, at the playground in Pondicherry, when she was playing and together with the small children, she was answering all their questions and entertaining them for playing. At that stage, This evening, the divine presence, concrete and material, was there present amongst you. I had a form of living gold, bigger than the universe, and I was facing a huge and massive golden door which separated the world from the divine. As I looked at the door, I knew and willed in a single movement of consciousness that the time has come, and lifting with both hands a mighty golden hammer, I struck one blow, one single blow on the door, and the door was shattered to pieces. Then the supramental light and the force and consciousness rushed down upon earth in an uninterrupted flow. So this is the experience, practical experience she has got, the mother in Pondicherry, and she has shared this in the words of K.D. Setna, who has interacted with mother later on when she has reached to that supermind stage and experienced all that, the golden day. Her close disciple has written like this, Mr. K.D. Setna. The significance of this event cannot be overestimated. What Sri Aurobindo and the mother had been working for since the beginning of the Avataric Yoga cannot be overestimated. It cannot be overestimated, cannot be underestimated. It should be working for since the beginning of their Avataric Yoga. Yoga was now realized. What had they been working for? To bring the supramental, that is the divine consciousness, down onto the earth, to insert it into the earthly evolution, and thus make the decisive evolutionary step possible by which one day a divinized species will be present on earth in a material way. The manifestation of the supramental on 29th February 1956 meant, among other things, that the future embodiment of the supramental consciousness, being beyond man, of the divine superman, was now assured, as it was assured that the human aspiration throughout countless millenniums was being fulfilled. The world would not always be a place of frustration, suffering, and death. Like everything else in the one divine, it would be able to materially develop its essential divine nature. So here, this is how, in conclusion, it can be said that Sri Aurobindo has envisioned world creation as a progressive self-manifestation and evolutionary ascent of universal consciousness in its journey towards the ultimate realization of the self. So this is what the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo, where exactly what I can understand is we are traditionally and from our ancient times, human being is trying to reach the divinity, the divine consciousness by individual efforts and attaining that mentally, giving up totally his environmental, his materialistic world as well as body entity also he will be forgetting. But here Sri Aurobindo's concept is, it is not simply ascending oneself, but he should get the divinity down, descending onto his body, the terrestrial, the materialistic body, which is going to be actually, it's not a permanent being. In nature, it's going to change every time, and it has got the nature of the sixth, that is asti, jayate, and then growing as well as decay, death, all these are there. But according to him, the divinity has to descend down, and this material also will change into divinity. The human body, the entire body will be changed into divinity. And that's what, even when Mother, on 29th February 1956, when she has experienced that golden day, a French person also has experienced that she has changed totally from her normal existence into a total golden body. He has described that in one of his writings. And Mother has not appeared as the alien person, but she has totally changed. So that's what he has experienced. So in this way, the supramental uh, consciousness by which the human being will be uh, changing totally into divinity is the concept of Sri Aurobindo. Well, before closing my session, it is worth to recollect the 5 dreams of Sri Aurobindo. Five dreams of Sri Aurobindo are: on the eve of India's Independence Day on 15th of August 1947, at the request of All India Radio, Tiruchirappalli, for broadcast, Sri Aurobindo gave a message which is quoted as the 5 dreams of Sri Aurobindo. They are: a revolutionary movement which would create a united India, a complete union of all the states. Unity is a must for the greatness of India's future. That is what he was fitting among the 5 dreams. Second one is the resurgence and liberation of the people of Asia and her return to a great role in the progress of human civilization. India has to play its part in this process. That is the second dream he has envisaged. Then third one, the unity of the world forming the outer basis of a fairer, brighter, and nobler life for all mankind. Here too, India has a prominent role to play. If she can develop that larger statesmanship, and her presence makes all the difference for unification, is a necessity of the nature and the divine will. International forums and international institutions must come up. A new spirit of oneness will take hold of the human race. That is his third dream. Then the fourth one is, one day India must become the spiritual leader of the world. She will be the guide to all the nations in their spiritual practice as the Vishwaguru. Then the last one is, there will be a step in evolution that will bring man to a higher and larger consciousness, thus find solution to all his problems, and finally bring individual perfection, leading to a perfect society. This initiative must come from India, he says. The scope must be universal with a central focus of India. Thus, this I put into this date of India's liberation. Whether or how far this hope will be justified depends upon the new India and free India. This is what Sri Aurobindo said. Then, in conclusion, a question arises. Just a minute, I want to come back to. A question arises: why Sri Aurobindo's philosophy has not become so popular as that of Sri Ramakrishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, etc.? The answer is very simple. First of all, Sri Aurobindo has started putting on his thoughts on paper only after he settled down in Pondicherry in 1910. He used to write only to his monthly Arya, that too in English language. They are not translated into any other regional languages. All his writings were compiled and published in a series in later years by the ashram people. Above all, Sri Aurobindo was against any publicity to him or his yoga, except to interact with those who are his disciples and are seriously interested in sadhana. Later on, Mother also followed the same principle of interacting directly with the sadhakas. However, during the past 2 decades, some efforts are made to translate his writings, particularly Savitri, Life Divine, Synthesis of Yoga, etc., into some regional languages. Wherever Sri Aurobindo centers are established, it is done. In Telugu states also, there are many followers of Sri Aurobindo, and his writings are being translated into Telugu language. There will be meditation and special talks by sadhakas at Sri Aurobindo centers in India and abroad on certain special occasions, such as 15th August, which is the Jayanti day of Sri Aurobindo, and December 5th, Vardhanti day of Sri Aurobindo, 21st February, Jayanti day of the Mother, 17th November, Vardhanti of the Mother, And November 24th, 1926, Arabindo attaining the supermind consciousness, supramental consciousness. Then the golden day, that is February 29th, 1956, the descent of supramental energy as declared by the mother. So this is how we find Sri Aurobindo and his philosophy in brief, which I have presented to you. Om Sahana Hotu, Sahana Gunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidishavahe, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you, sir.
ధన్యవాదములండి. Thank you so much for the webinar. We have some questions in the chat box.
Sir.
We'll take them one by one.
Yes, sir.
Can you please briefly share Arabindo philosophy in your opinion and as understandable to common man like me compared to his contemporaries?
I must say common man, sir. As I understand from this, Sri Aurobindo interpreted his philosophy, particularly the descent of the supermind. Actually, after reaching to the overmind stage, the human being, that is, realizing the spirituality within himself at the conscious level, it should come down to his body and it should also transform totally. It is not merely at the conscious level, but also physical level. That is how Sri Aurobindo thinks that the whole existence of mankind will change once everything becomes divine. In this particular aspect, I have also gone through Bhagavad Gita. I would like to refer here two slokas from the 6th chapter, that is Atma Samyama Yoga. Jivatmana Prashantasya Paramatma Samahitaha Shitoshna Sukadukhyeshu Tatha Manava Manayoho. This is the attainment of his perfection. Human being, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastaha Vijitendriya Yukta Ityuchite Yogi Samalos Tasma Kanchanaha. So personally, he will make himself change totally, but at the same time, at slokas, that is, we can see the number 30 and 31 in the same chapter, 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami satyamena na pranashyati. సకల ప్రాణులందును ఆత్మరూపంలో నన్ను వాసుదేవుని చూచు పురుషునకు అట్లే ప్రాణులన్నింటిని ఎందును నా యందు అంతర్గతంగా ఉన్నట్టు చూచడానికి నేను అదృశ్యుడను కాను, అతడును నాకు అదృశ్యుడు కాడు. So it is the perfect perfection by which everything, the opposite man also he finds God. Sarvabhuta Sitam Yo Mam Bhajatye Tattvam Astitaha Sarvata Vartamanopi Sayogi Mai Vartate. భగవంతుని యందు ఏకీభావ స్థితి అనే పురుషుడు సర్వభూతముల యందును ఆత్మరూపమున సచ్చిదానంద ఘన వాసుదేవుడనే నన్ను భజించును. అట్టి యోగి సర్వదా సర్వ వ్యవహారములందును ప్రవర్తించుచున్నను, నా యందే ప్రవర్తించుచుండును. So this is how I feel that Sri Aurobindo, because of his knowledge, experience with the scriptures, he wanted that this situation should come. Hope I have answered to your question, sir.
Okay. What will be the evolution of mind according to Aravindo?
There is no mind once the evolution takes place. It is a super consciousness. Mind is a matter that is materialistic, but once it reaches to the conscious level, we cannot discuss it as a mind, soul, body separately.
Okay. What is the role of yoga in achieving super mental state of mind?
It depends on our practice, sir. Yoga, even for years together, if you practice it without single-mindedness and pointed concentration, as it is described by Patanjali or as it is described in other Yoga Shastra books, we have to attain it by gradual practice, regularity, and also selecting the same place and also the ambience maintenance constantly without it's all individual personal experiences, and one has to attain himself the that stage of divine consciousness, I believe.
Okay. Do you feel geographical oneness has relevance to the elevation of individual mind?
So once we reach to the, as Sri Aurobindo envisages here, what he says, the whole world, India should become the leader for this particularly spiritual gains, and it should lead the people. As already we have seen yesterday, we have celebrated the International Yoga Day, which was not there 10 years ago, but now it has come into existence, and India is at the front runner for this yogic philosophy, and also everybody is accepting. So there is already a unification in this direction. And why can't it be possible? The concept of Sri Aurobindo that entire terrestrial sector also becoming divinity is something which needs time and which is beyond our imagination. Though the mother has experienced it and the master Sri Aurobindo also has got it. But as far as unification is possible, from the spiritual point of view, it will be certainly possible because we are going in this direction. Particularly, the present government also is looking at that, becoming India as a leader internationally.
Okay. Are the Arabindo works in 32 big books translated into Telugu?
Yes, sir. Uh, there are so many books now recently, but they are not translated in toto, big volumes, because Sri Aurobindo's books are mostly running into hundreds of pages. Some separate topics are being translated into Telugu, and in Hyderabad particularly, the institution which I said I am associated, Institute of Human Study, located at the just opposite to Surabharati at Vidyanagar, outer gate of Usman University, and they also have got good library. They have got Telugu books also, and there are periodicals, and most of the books are in English, which are there, but still Telugu books are also available. And at Mushirabad also there is a center of Sri Aurobindo, and they also have regular sittings and sadhakas are there, and who will be giving lectures also. So it is available. They are there in Bengali, they are there in Telugu, in Kannada. Now they are coming into market.
Okay. How mental consciousness is different from reaching Brahmananda?
Brahmananda is supramental consciousness only. That Brahmananda as supermind, whatever we call it, Satchidananda, it's only the concept is higher consciousness and lower consciousness as described. Lower means we are within the limits of mind, body, and life, and with some Chaitanya within ours. But higher consciousness is separate, and there is a veil in between these two that has to be broken. And only then, when we realize it, that means it is not realizing by going up, but it has to come down within us. So only one, because we have always resistance, our body, our senses always resist to going in a pointed direction, and also particularly for concentration to divinity. In that case, it's the nature which has to work out. Nature means our body only will cooperate, will have to cooperate, and we have to attain that super consciousness with the help of the God. Unless God helps us, we cannot do anything. That we know. So that super consciousness also should come down at our level, and then only we can realize it. It is one and the same. So Brahmananda and super consciousness same. But only thing is we are not able to reach that level because of our limitations physically, materialistically, because of our senses and other attractions.
Okay. What are the Aurobindo's concepts of integral yoga and integral education?
The integral education also, Sri Aurobindo has contributed a lot, particularly from the childhood. The schools should also have this vision of spirituality and also discipline, yoga. It's not only simply practicing for yogic and supramental meditation, but also he has given the physical education in Arabindo's schools. I have seen that they also impart uh, different types of discipline, physical level, mental level, and also in their studies also they will have a different line of approach by which the individual will be holistically developed, mentally, physically, as well as in his mannerisms. Everything is a total concept I have seen.
Okay. Now there are some people who want to ask questions directly.
Sir,
Ramakrishna Garu, unmute yourself and ask your question.
yes, sir.
Sir, is it dhyana or meditation is the only way or any other way of attaining that supramental consciousness? Yoga,
Sir,
dhyana, meditation?
yeah, Sri Aurobindo did not deny our normal approach for the meditation. He is also following the same as we have seen the Ashtanga Yoga. The meditation, the process of meditation did not make any different line. The only feeling he has got, the only theory he has proclaimed is that we are limited in our approach and we are not 100% successful in achieving the goal of divinity. So that requires the nature's cooperation also. Nature is also waiting because nature is not dead. It is with spirit only. That is why the nature, man has to cooperate with nature and nature also will do its work. In course of time, the changes are going to come. That is what he feels.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And in your slideshow, can you
Sir.
show that 3 stages slide? 1 second, please.
You want to replay, sir?
That one slide only, please. That because it is very fast going up.
Oh,
So I could not read through the second stage at all.
certainly I will.
Just once. Sorry, other participants.
No problem.
I'm disturbing you guys.
It's okay, but no, all this thing is recorded.
Oh,
You may see it again, the whole video.
whole video is not okay. Then fine. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll do it later then.
Now he's going to show you also. Let him show.
You want it, sir?
Yeah, please show, since you already started showing.
It's a triple formation, transformation about Purna Yoga, which is based briefly. I have summarized this stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. These are the 3 stages I have summarized.
This I have. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
It's okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I have seen the second stage. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
That's enough.
Anybody else want to ask any question? Anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah. Purushotham garu.
Sir.
So R.L. Kashyap is a follower of Arabindo, right?
Sir, sorry, mother?
R.L. Kashyap. R.L. Kashyap.
Foreign culture.
R.L. Kashyap. Kashyap. From
Foreign
Bangalore.
culture. Yes, sir. He is
From
also.
Bangalore. You know about his writings?
I heard of his name, but I did not read much, sir. I have only gone through some of the writings of Sri Aurobindo and Mother.
Okay. What is next? That's okay. But I understand he is advocating a philosophy of internal yajna. What is that internal yajna? Any idea you have? You said that you're not aware of this. Okay. But
Internal.
he is a follower of Arabindo and he is advocating a philosophy of internal yajna. What is that internal yajna? I could not understand.
I have no idea, sir.
Okay.
So other thing is then see when we go see the workings of writings of Ramana Maharshi, we get a message that whoever goes to him, he says that you realize what is your Atma, who is talking, who are you. He wants to, with one question, he clarifies the things. Like that, anything Arabindo can give us a small slogan to the people to get enlightened themselves.
Actually,
what he says, how he
Arabindo,
answers this common man question, Arabindo.
Sir, Sri Aurobindo, so far as I have observed his writings and discussions with people, he did not go down to the common man level to project his philosophy. It was mother, actually, after she entered into picture after 1920, she relentlessly worked out in ashram and interacted with the sadhakas, and sadhakas themselves have given the details of Sri Aurobindo's concept, but Aurobindo directly has not given anything to people.
Okay.
Separately as a slogan.
So, what is the philosophy of Arabindo about our karma kanda?
About?
Our karma kandas, yajna yagadi kartus.
He accepted it, sir. He accepted everything. There is no, he didn't deny anything of our.
He advocates them or he renounces them?
He advocated. Sanatana Dharma he has accepted.
No, Sanatana Dharma is a philosophy, is a Vedanta, is okay.
Yeah.
What about his karma kandas? But about yajnas, yagas, what is the understanding on yajnas and yagas?
Yajna yagas, they did not do it, sir. Actually, in ashrama also they are not practicing. And the only development is the human mind, soul concept. But so far as I have seen some writings also, the Yajna Yagas, he did not. He did not deny the scriptures, but at the same time, in his philosophy, he has not projected it.
But though he has not denied, but the down the line people are denying. They are denying Sayanacharya's bhashyas.
Yes. The Sayanacharya, they are denying that we have seen, sir.
Sayanacharya is the authority on Sanatana Dharma for traditional Sanatana Dharmis, right?
Sir.
We take Sayanacharya as authority for our karma kandas and
yes.
our philosophy and meanings to Veda Sabdas. If that is not accepted by Arabindo, how can we take that he is follower of Vedas?
He developed his own school of thought, but he did not deny it. At the same time, he wanted that the evolution in nature, that's all. Nature perfection and nature evolution, he wanted manifestation, divinity in nature.
So what is the extra he has told on Bhagavad Gita then? Bhagavad Gita also talks about the same higher level of concentration on Indriya Nigraha and going and all these things. And then he also advocates about karma to be done by him. That's what Krishna Bhagavan says.
Yes.
He says in Sankhya Yoga that Jnana is the first priority, but reaching for Jnana, there are two methods. One method is directly going to Jnana.
Yes.
And second method is doing karma first. And then from karma go to jhana, from jhana we go to bhakti, and from bhakti you go to jnana. That is the step-by-step method of going there.
Yes,
but
sir.
What he says, what Arabindo says about, what is the difference between Arabindo saying and Krishna saying?
Regarding karma kanda, sir?
Yeah, regarding this sadhana of a person.
Sadhana is only through
what Arabindo has achieved, we cannot achieve, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
What Adi Shankara has achieved, we cannot achieve. What Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has achieved, we cannot achieve.
Karma kanda
what Ramana Maharshi achieved, we cannot achieve. But there are procedures for all of us to do certain works, certain way of step-by-step method of going up to the level of concentration.
Yeah, we cannot give us daily activities or karma kanda and sit only for meditation.
So by leaving the routine positions of karmakandas and other things, what is the method he is advocating to reach that level of jnanakanda?
Only by meditation.
Just by seeing meditation?
Yes, sir. Only meditation. That's all.
And during
There is
meditation,
no
what we are supposed
karmakanda
to do?
involved in that yajna, yagas, or homas, or puja.
Not
And
required.
no, they are. I have seen that even Lord Venkateshwara photo also is not. You don't find anywhere in the Arabindonian scriptures.
As a Sanatani person, do you think that is correct thing to denounce the Yajnayagar Kratus?
I am not for that, sir. Anyway, but here the concept, what I wanted to understand is what exactly as compared to other philosophies.
Purushotham garu okati.
Jnana
One way
particularly
we are
Jnana.
saying that he is follower of Vedas. And Vedas has got 4 sections.
Exactly.
One is
Karmakanda is there,
Samhitas,
Jnanakanda
one
is
is Sahitas, which talk about the whole Srishti.
there. Yes.
The whole Srishti and whole physical Panchabhutas and all those things it talks about. Samhita talks about all these things, right? And then the Srishti Chakram, how it moves and all those things are talked about there. To maintain that, they have given the philosophy, they have the procedures to follow by the human beings in the form of Brahmanas and Aranyakas to maintain that Srishti what he has created by the God. And once you say that Brahmanas and Aranyakas are not at all
Required.
the Srishti maintenance tools, then how can you say that he is following Vedas?
I think he has taken the Vedas as the basis for his further thinking of the consciousness. He has studied them only for his foundation sake, and based on that, how the practice is there, and what exactly he wanted beyond that level. Because he has also mentioned that Darwin's theory is only the evolution from matter to life. Beyond that, there is nothing. Even that life also not the divine consciousness from the Indian scriptures he has projected. But this consciousness also to certain level, and the descending of the divinity at that level we are stopping, that has to go. That is,
So that means,
to that extent, I understand what he says.
That means Arabindo promotes Darwin's theory.
No, he denied Darwin's theory.
He denied Darwin's theory.
Also has a
And
limit.
once he denied Darwin's theory, and my question is only this.
Evolution.
And once he denies the 3 sections of Vedas and talks about only one section of Veda, that too Upanishads, Andu Upanishads also only meditation.
Yeah.
In Upanishads also, he is not talking about the other things which Krishna Bhagavan has told. Krishna Bhagavan has told in a different way, the Upanishads. If he talks about only yoga and only meditation and nothing else is to be done, everything is internal yajna, only what Karl Kashyap says. If that is so, how can he say that he is following Vedas?
Yes, that is for discussion, sir. That is true.
This is what I got confusion when somebody was telling me like this. So I wanted to clarify. I was searching for a person who is follower of Arabindo and who knows this subject very well. I was searching for a person to discuss with him and understand these things.
I will come up with your questions later time, sir, because my interaction also is not so deep, because I have been doing my regular practice, this Sandhyavandanam and all that at home. So it's only a partial understanding of this.
All those things are
everything about everybody. Something of everything I wanted to know.
Yeah, okay. We will address this question separately. Now,
thank you very
I'll
much
keep in mind, sir.
your
I'll
ideas.
keep in mind and come back to you personally.
Okay. P.S. Murthy garu, you want to ask any question? Unmute yourself. Okay. If P.S. Murthy garu is not talking, then B.R.C. Murthy garu. 1 minute. I think, have I muted everybody? I think that is the problem. P.S. Murthy garu, now try.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్. ప్రొఫెసర్ గారు పురుషోత్తం రావు గారు చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు సార్. కాకపోతే అంటే నేను ఈ విషయంలో చాలా అల్పుణ్ణి. laterally, I have some small observation to make. You said that mother got the super consciousness.
Yeah.
And as per our Vedas, super consciousness is the stage when you will reach the Turiya Avastha. We have three avasthas as defined in Vedas or Upanishads. So fourth avastha, which we do not know, is Turiya Avastha or Samadhi state, which the other like Ramana Maharshi ji, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa have attained.
Yeah.
So when super consciousness comes down to the Stula Sarira and Sushma Sarira, without elevating itself, after self-actualization, then how one can reach the Samadhi state? That was my observation. I don't know whether I am right or wrong.
Actually, from the life history of what I have seen, the mother, right from the childhood, she has got this occultism as well as having that super consciousness, and she has also got dreams about Lord Sri Aurobindo in her dreams without knowing where he is and what he is. That is how she was feeling that once she sees Sri Aurobindo, she also got the feeling that he is the master where she can work for her pursuits. And she has been doing sadhana. It is not all of a sudden that the mother has realized something which is something like hallucination, but it is because of her constant sadhana. And even though she was moving like meditative lady only constantly in Pandya also. In Samadhi state, she was for the longer time, it seems. And that particular time, on that day, when she was interacting with the students, suddenly she realized it seems.
No, but again, this is defeating the very basis of the Vedas.
Yeah.
That you said jhanam or meditation,
Maybe
travanam,
Turiya
mananam,
stage.
nididhyasanam. After that, we arrive
Turiya
the stage of
stage.
Samadhi stage.
Minor
Nobody
stage.
will arrive at Turiya stage. We don't know. I mean, in this Janma we get that, or after 1,000 Janmas we don't know. But we realized that Ramana Maharshi got it, or
Yeah.
Ramakrishna Paramahamsa got it, but the step-by-step process, what you mentioned, is correct as per Vedas. But when it transcends down, then how again you can go to Turiya Avastha, or whether it is a possibility of Turiya Avastha is there. Even Sapta Chakras also, our Vedas say, right from Mooladhara to Sahasrara, when
Yes.
you put all nadis together and you reach the Sahasrara stage, you are finished, that's all. So that was my feeling. I don't know. I need to be corrected by Prabhakar Rao Garu and our other elders here. So that is why it's just little hazy. I mean, what I am thinking. Anyhow, sorry, excuse me for
No.
trying to understand.
I have only floated the ideas. It's nothing.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
One more thing, sir. Purushotham Garu.
Sir.
You just in one slide you told that the door is broken. I could not understand that slide. What is that actually? Can you explain me?
Actually, let me open it, sir.
What is that door broken? What is the door broken with one stroke? What is that? Golden door. Golden door broken with one stroke.
Yeah. It is the golden door which is opened.
I read twice, but I could not make it out correctly. What does it mean?
Sir, perhaps it is a golden blockage. Block.
A veil, something like.
What is that?
Block is described as door.
Which block? Mental block?
For our progress, for our further progress, something is blocking. That block is
it
describing as a
or just
మన సనాతన ధర్మంలో మాయా పొర అంటారు కదా, అది మాయ తొలగింది.
So it is mental breakage, not a physical breakage.
Not at all physical, sir.
Manasika breakage. Okay, that's manasika breakage. Okay. But where is the hammer? What is the hammer there? What is the manasika hammer there?
Indriya Nigraham.
Indriya Nigraham is my hammer to break that
Door.
Okay. Okay.
సార్ మనం చెప్పినంత వరకు మన
The
ప్రయత్నంతో
door
పాటు
also massive golden door,
గురుగారి
Mahoday.
అనుగ్రహం కూడా
Evening, the
కావాలి.
evening, the divine presence, concrete and material.
The hammer also
the-
is golden.
దైవానుగ్రహం కూడా కావాలి సార్, మన ప్రయత్నం ఒకటే చాలదు.
This evening, okay, let me see that slide again, sir, please.
Which one, sir? Yeah.
This evening, the divine presence, concrete and material, was there present among us. You. I had a form of living gold bigger than the universe, and I was facing a huge and massive golden door which separated the world from the divine. As I looked at the door, I knew and willed in a single movement of consciousness that the time has come, and lifting with both the hands a mighty golden hammer, I struck one blow, single blow on the door, and the door was shattered to the pieces. Then the supramental light and force and consciousness set down upon the earth in the unintended flow. So that's her feeling. That's the feeling she got.
Yeah.
In her subconsciousness. Yeah, understood. Thank you.
And it's also better to see this next one. Manifestation.
Okay, now BRC Murthy garu.
Yes, sir.
నమస్తే అండి. ఇప్పుడు ముషిరాబాద్ అన్నారు, అది ఎక్కడండి? ముషిరాబాద్ ఒకటి అన్నారు.
ముషిరాబాద్ MGM కు పోవడానికి అక్కడ ముషిరాబాద్ లో మెట్రో స్టేషన్ దగ్గరనే సార్.
ఎక్కడ?
క్రాస్ రోడ్స్ దగ్గర.
ముషిరాబాద్ క్రాస్ రోడ్స్ లో
ఆర్టీసీ నుంచి ముషిరాబాద్ పోతుంది.
కార్నర్ లో ఫస్ట్ బిల్డింగ్.
సార్ ఎస్.
ముషిరాబాద్ సెంటర్ నుంచి పద్మనాభ వెళ్తుంటే రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ పెద్ద బిల్డింగ్ ఉంటుంది.
కపాడియా బిల్డింగ్
అందులోనే ఉందనుకుంటా. కపాడియా బిల్డింగ్ లోనే ఉందనుకుంటా.
ఓకే,
అక్కడ ఉంది వాళ్ళ స్కూల్. ఏమో వాళ్ళ స్కూల్ యూనివర్సిటీ దగ్గర, సురభారత్ దగ్గర.
ఎక్కడ యూనివర్సిటీ?
గేట్ అవతల, గేట్ బయట
ఇంటర్నేషనల్ స్కూల్ అండి సార్. అరబిందో
సురభారత్ ఆర్చ్ ఉంది కదా, ఆర్చ్ బయట రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్.
ఓహో, అంటే మన వేద సంస్కృతి సమితి ఆఫీస్ దగ్గర పక్కనే కదా.
సురభారతి ఉంది కదా. సురభారతి తర్వాత ఆర్చ్ వస్తుంది.
ఓకే,
ఆర్చ్ దాటంగానే రైట్ హ్యాండ్ సైడ్ అరవిందో స్కూల్.
ఓకే.
Okay, thank you very much. I think again PS Murthy garu wants to interact. Chapandi.
Sir, sorry to again requesting for my observation. But ఈ డోర్ అంటున్నాం కదా సార్, యాక్చువల్గా నాకు తెలిసింది ఏంటంటే సార్, అయోధ్య, మధుర, మాయ, కాశీ, కాంచి, అవంతిక, పూరి, ధారావతి చేవ, సప్తైతే మోక్షదాయక. That means all these 7 places gives us the moksham. So if that is the case, they say that you start your journey for getting liberation right from Haridwar, go to Kanchi, go to Ayodhya, and then go to Mathura, come to Ujjain, after Kashi, then go to Dwaraka at the last. So Dwaraka, I was told, Dwaraka, where is the door? Ka means kaha. So where is the door? Where is the door? Where it is stopped? There are no doors. That is the place where you reach as per chakras. Sahasrara chakra, when you reach Dwaraka. Again, if I come back, here Haridwar is connected to Mooladhara chakra, Kanchi is connected to Swadhisthana chakra, Ayodhya is connected to Manipura chakra, and then Mathura is connected to Anahata chakra. And Avantika is connected to Visuddha chakra. Kashi is connected to Agna chakra, because where knowledge is there, where scholars and pandits are there, and it's a seat of knowledge. And then finally, Dwaraka is the Sahasrara chakra. In Sahasrara chakra, there are no doors at all. Sahasrara, it looks like 1000, but it is infinite. No door at all. Dwarka, Dwar nahi milta, then you get your liberation. So it's a pathless path. That is what was referred in our Vedas. As per this sloka, Ayodhya, Madhura, Maya, Kasi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwaravati, Cheva, Saptaite, Mokshadayakaha. This is what I wanted to share as per our Sanatana Dharma. Thank you for giving me this
Thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for active interaction. If there is nobody else wants to talk, then we will go for Prarthana and Janaganamani. Bhaskar Rao garu wants to say something. Bhaskar,
Unmute and talk.
unmute and talk.
ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడొచ్చండి.
మాట్లాడండి.
భాస్కర్ దేవ్ గారు.
అండి
మాట్లాడండి.
భాస్కర్ అన్మ్యూట్, మళ్ళా అన్మ్యూట్ చేశారు. అన్మ్యూట్ చేసి వీడియో ఓపెన్ చేసి మాట్లాడండి. అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి. అన్మ్యూట్ చేయాలా? మైక్ మీద నొక్కండి. ఇప్పుడు మాట్లాడండి.
భగవద్గీత నుంచి 2 శ్లోకాలు దీనికి ఆన్సర్ చెప్తాయి అనుకుంటాను బహుశా. ఇప్పుడు మనం చెప్పుకున్న టాపిక్ కి నియరర్ టు అరవిందాస్ ఫిలాసఫీ ఏంటంటే, భగవద్గీతలో శ్రీకృష్ణ పరమాత్మ చెప్పింది ఏదైతే ఉందో, సర్వధర్మాన్ పరిత్యజ్య మామేకం శరణం వ్రజ అహంత్వా సర్వపాపేభ్యో మోక్షయిష్యామి తర్వాత మయ్యేవ మనాథస్వ మై బుద్ధిని నివసిష్యతి మయ్యేవ అతవర్థం న సంశయ మన్మనాభవ మద్భక్తో మధ్యాజీ మాం నమస్కురు మామే వైశ్యశక్త్వం ఆత్మానం మత్పరాయణ. ఈ శ్లోకాలతో నాకు ఏమనిపిస్తుంది, సర్వధర్మాలను పరిత్యజ్య అంటే అన్ని ధర్మాలని పరిచయించమని కాదు. మనకు చేత కాకపోతే ధర్మాలన్నింటినీ అనుష్ఠించడానికి తగినట్టు అవకాశం లేకపోతే నన్నే గట్టిగా పట్టుకో, నాయందే మనస్సును నిలుపు అని చెప్పడం అని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. అలాగా మయ్యేవా మనాథస్వ మై బుద్ధిని నివేశ, నాయందే నీ బుద్ధిని నిలుపు, మై బుద్ధిని నివసిష్యతి మయ్యేవా అత్వర్థం సంశయ, నీకు నా హృదయంలో స్థానం లభిస్తుంది, లేకపోతే నీ హృదయంలోకి నేను వచ్చి కూర్చుంటాను. మన్మన భవ మద్భక్తో మధ్యాజీ మాం నమస్కరు అని ఇవన్నీ చెబుతుంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఈ సనాతన ధర్మానికి వ్యతిరేకమేమి కాదు. అన్ని సనాతన ధర్మం అంటేనే వేదాల నుంచి వచ్చిందే ఉపనిషత్తులు, కానీ ఉపనిషత్తులు ఇదే సారాంశమే భగవద్గీత. శ్రీకృష్ణ పరమాత్మ చెప్పారు, ఈ యజ్ఞాలు చేయమని ఎవరు చెప్పరు. యజ్ఞాలు చేయవలసిందే, అందరికీ అన్ని చేతకావు కాబట్టి చేతకాని వాళ్ళు యజ్ఞాలు చేస్తారు, యాగాలు చేస్తారు, హోమాలు చేస్తారు, అన్నీ చేస్తారు. మరి అన్ని చేతకాని వాళ్ళకి పరిస్థితి ఏమిటి అంటే, మన్మనాభవ మద్భక్తో మధ్యాజీ మామ నమస్కురు, ఏనా నమస్కారం పెడుతూ భక్తితో ఉండమనే పెద్దల్ని గౌరవించడం, సనాతన ధర్మంలో పండితుల్ని గౌరవించడం, ధర్మాన్ని ఆచరించడం, ధర్మంగా నడుచు, ధర్మం చరా సత్యం వద, ధర్మం రక్షత ఇంతే కదా. ఇది చేసుకుంటే చాలు. మనకు అన్ని శాస్త్రాలు అందరికీ అన్ని రావాలంటే మామూలుగా రావు, అంత ఈజీగా రావు. అవి యజ్ఞాగాదులు చేయటం కూడా పూర్వకాలం అంటే ఆ యుగాల్లో మనుషులు చేయగలిగారు పనులు. ఇప్పటికీ కొన్ని గుళ్ళల్లో వాటిల్లో హోమాలు జరుగుతున్నాయి, యజ్ఞాలు జరుగుతున్నాయి, వెళ్ళి నమస్కారం పెట్టుకొస్తాం అంతేగాని ఆ మంత్రాలు ఆ రకమైనటువంటి చేయటం అందరికీ అది సాధ్యం కాదు. సాధ్యం కాకపోతే కూడా ఈ మన్మనాభవ మద్భక్తో మధ్యాజీ మాం నమస్కురు మామే అనన్యాశ్చింతయంతో మాం ఏ జనా పరిపాసతే తేషాం నిత్యాభియుక్తానాం యోగక్షేమం వహామ్యహం. ఎవేం చేత కాకపోతే అనన్యాశ్చింతయంతో, అవేమి రాకపోతే మాం ఏ జనా పరిపాసతే తేషాం నిత్యాభియుక్తానాం యోగక్షేమం వహామ్యహం. చాలు కదా, ఇవి చేస్తే యోగక్షేమాలు నేను చూసుకుంటా అన్నాడు ఆయన. అంటే పారమార్థికమైన యోగక్షేమం కానీ, మనకు బ్రహ్మజ్ఞానాన్ని ఆయన ఇవ్వటంలో కానీ, అయితే లౌకికమైనటువంటి అవసరార్థం కావలసినటువంటి సుఖాలు ఇవి చూడటం కానీ, మనకు కావాల్సినవి ఇవ్వటం కానీ ఇక్కడ బతకడానికి, ఇవన్నీ కూడా నేను చూసుకుంటాను, నువ్వు ఆయన గట్టిగా పట్టుకోని చెబుతున్నాడని నేను అనుకుంటున్నాను. అలాగా కాబట్టి భగవద్గీత శ్లోకాల్లో
భాస్కర్ దేవ్ దాంతో పాటు భక్తి యోగంలో చెప్పిన 3 శ్లోకాలు కూడా కలిపి చదువుకోవాలి.
అద్వేష్ట సర్వభూతాన మైత్ర,
దాంతో చెప్పిన 3 శ్లోకాల్లో కూడా కలిగి చెప్పాలి. నువ్వు ఈ విధంగా చెయ్యి, ఫస్ట్ అది చేయలేకపోతే ఇది చెయ్యి, ఇది చేయలేకపోతే ఇది చెయ్యి, ఇది చేయలేకపోతే ఇది చెయ్యి, ఏమీ చేయలేకపోతే నువ్వు చేయవలసిన పనులు ఏమున్నాయో అవన్నీ చెయ్యి జాగ్రత్తగా. ఆ పనులన్నీ జాగ్రత్తగా చేస్తూ ధర్మంగా బతుకుతూ నన్ను తలుచుకో అన్నారు. అంతేగాని ఏమీ చేయకుండా కూర్చుని ముక్కు మూసుకుని కూర్చుని నన్ను తలుచుకుని కూర్చుని నేను ఇచ్చేస్తానని చెప్పలేదు. అసలు అది జరగనే జరగదు. అది జరగనేది. నీ కర్మ నువ్వు నిష్కామ కర్మ చెయ్యి అన్నాడు. నీవు కోరికలు లేకుండా కర్మ చెయ్యి నువ్వు అని చెప్తున్నాడు. ఆ కర్మని కూడా, కర్మ ఫలాన్ని కూడా త్యాగం చెయ్యి నాకు అని చెప్తున్నాడు.
అది ఇచ్చేయమని నాకే ఇచ్చేసి
నిష్కామ కర్మ చెయ్యి అంటే కోరికలు లేకుండా కర్మ చెయ్యి అంటే లోక కళ్యాణం కోసం చేసే పనులన్నీ చేస్తూ ఉండు, ధర్మ కార్యాలన్నీ చేస్తూ ఉండు, నీ ధర్మాన్ని నివర్తిస్తూ ఉండు. నువ్వు చేసే పనులు నువ్వు చేస్తూ ఆ ఫలాన్ని నీకు ఆపాదించుకోకు. ఎప్పుడైతే నీకు ఆపాదించుకున్నావో ఆ కర్మ నీ అకౌంట్లో పడుతుంది. ఆ ఫలాన్ని నాకు ఇచ్చేసేయి. నువ్వు అది అది ఇండిపెండెంట్గా ఉండు. నువ్వు చేసే పనికి కూడా నువ్వు ఇండిపెండెంట్గా ఉండు. అది ఎంతవరకు సాధ్యం అనేదే సాధన. ఆ పని చేయగలిగిన వాడు అంటే కర్మ చేయొద్దని చెప్పలా. ఇప్పుడు పోతే యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతుల గురించి చేయక్కర్లేదని చెప్తున్నారే మీరు. అది చేయక్కర్లేదని అందరూ చేయలేదని చెప్తున్నారు కదా. 1 minute, జస్ట్ డోంట్ లెట్ మీ కంటిన్యూ. అందరూ చేయాలని ఎక్కడ రాసిలేదు. మన వర్ణ ధర్మమే అది. మన వర్ణ ధర్మమే యజ్ఞయాగాదులు చేయవలసింది వేద బ్రాహ్మణులు మాత్రమే
చేయాలి. కరెక్ట్.
వాళ్ళు రాజులతో కలిసి యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతులు చేస్తారు. దానికి కావాల్సిన సరంజామా అంతా వైశ్యులు ఇస్తారు. ఈ 3 చేయలేని వాళ్ళు ఆ 4వ జాతి వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే వీళ్ళందరికీ సహాయం చేస్తారు. ఈ ఫలానికి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఆ యజ్ఞయాగాది కట్టులు వేదాలన్నీ నేర్చుకుని యజ్ఞయాగాలు చేసి కష్టపడి చేసి బ్రాహ్మడికి ఎంత ఫలితం వస్తుందో
అంతే
ఆ ఇటుకలు మోసిన కూలివాడికి కూడా అంతే ఫలితం వస్తుంది అని చెప్పారు. అది అంతేగాని యజ్ఞయాగాది కట్టులు మానేసేసేసి ముక్కు మూసుకుని కూర్చోమని చెప్పలా వేదాలు.
కర్మ వాళ్ళు నిష్కామ కర్మ చేయమని చెప్పారు.
ఎవరి కర్మ వాళ్ళని చేయమన్నారు. బ్రాహ్మణ కర్మ చేయాలి, క్షత్రియుడి కర్మ చేయాలి, వైశ్యుడు కర్మ చేయాలి, శూద్రుడు కర్మ చేయాలి. స్వధర్మం అంటే అది అర్థం అక్కడ. నేను బ్రాహ్మణుని చెప్పుకుంటాను, నేను సంధ్యావందనం కూడా చెయ్యను, నేను అలా రామ్ అంటూ ఉంటానంటే అది నాట్ అలౌడ్ అంటున్నాడు.
అవును,
అర్థమైందా? సో యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతులకి ఫుల్ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఉంది. సాయనాచార్య మహర్షి 5000 ఋషుల్ని కట్టగట్టుకుని వేదాలకు అర్థం రాసింది ఆయన ఒక్కడేం రాయలా. వేదాలకు అర్థం వేదవ్యాస మహర్షి కూడా వేదాలను వ్యాసం చేసింది ఆయన ఒక్కడు చేయలా. 5 to 10,000 మహర్షుల్ని కూడగట్టుకుని వాళ్ళందరి చేత డిస్కస్ చేసి నైమిసారణ్యంలో డిస్కషన్ చేసి దాని తర్వాత రాసినవన్నీ. ఇవన్నీ ఈజ్ నాట్ వన్ మ్యాన్ బ్రెయిన్ ద్వారా వచ్చినవి కాదు ఈ థీరీస్ అన్ని. కాబట్టి జస్ట్ మనం ఏదో చెప్పేసి ఏదో ఒక శ్లోకం పట్టేసుకుని దాన్ని మొత్తాన్ని చెప్పేస్తే అక్కడ భగవంతుడు ఇంకోటి చెప్పాడు, నువ్వు జ్ఞానివి కాబట్టి అందరూ ఏం చేయక్కర్లేదురా అని చెప్పొద్దు అని చెప్పాడు. నువ్వు జ్ఞానికే వర్తిస్తుంది ఆ విషయం. జ్ఞాని కాని వాడికి వర్తిస్తుంది, కామన్ మ్యాన్కి వాడి పని వాడు చేయమని చెప్పు అని చెప్పాడు. అది కూడా శ్లోకం ఉందంటూ భగవద్గీతలో. ఏమని చెప్పాడు? నువ్వు జ్ఞానేంత మాత్రాన నువ్వు అందరికీ మిస్గైడ్ చేయొద్దు. అది చేయొద్దు, ఇది చేయొద్దు, అంతా బాగానే సర్వం జగన్నాథం, నువ్వేం చేయక్కర్లేదు, కూర్చో అని చెప్పొద్దు అని చెప్పాడు. అలా చెప్తే నేను కూడా దానికి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కూడా చెప్పాడు. నేను పరమాత్మని, నాకు ఈ కర్మతో ఏ విధమైన సంబంధం, ఈ సృష్టి అంతా చేసిన వాడిని నేనే, కానీ ఈ కర్మతో నాకేం సంబంధం లేదు. ఈ సృష్టి యొక్క కర్మతో నాకేం సంబంధం లేదు. నేను యాజ్ ఏ పరమాత్మ ఐ డోంట్ నీడ్ టు ఫాలో ఎనీ ఆఫ్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. నేను ఈ కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ కృష్ణగా పుట్టాను కాబట్టి, ఒక మనిషిగా పుట్టాను కాబట్టి నేను చేయవలసిన పనులు ఒక మనిషిగా ఏం చేయాలో అవన్నీ చేస్తూ ఉంటాను. అందుకనే కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ హస్తినాపురం వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ధర్మరాజుకి కలిసినప్పుడు ముందు కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ రథం దిగి ధర్మరాజుకి వెళ్ళి నమస్కారం పెడతాడు. అంతేగాని ధర్మరాజు వచ్చి కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ నమస్కారం పెట్టాడు. కృష్ణుడు భగవంతుడు కాబట్టి. కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ తన పరమాత్మని తెలిసి కూడా ధర్మరాజు ధర్మమూర్తి, ధర్మానికి నమస్కారం పెట్టడం కాదు అక్కడ. ధర్మరాజు పెద్దవాడు తనకన్నా, కాబట్టి వెళ్ళి నమస్కారం పెట్టాలి పెద్దవాడికి అని చేసి చూపించాడు. అది చేసి చూపిస్తున్నాడు. అది చేసి చూపించడం అనేది అవసరం. కాబట్టి ధర్మం ఫాలో అవడం అనేది, యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతులు చేయటం అనేది, దాన్ని ఆచరించడం అనేది, ఏ వర్ణం ప్రకారం ఆ వర్ణం చేయటం అనేది అవసరం. అంతేగాని యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతులు కష్టం కాబట్టి అందరూ మానేయండి అంటే చేయదగిన వాళ్ళు కూడా మానేసి కూర్చుంటారు, చేయగలిగిన వాళ్ళు కూడా మానేసి కూర్చుంటారు. అది దట్స్ నాట్ ది మెయిన్ థింగ్. మెయిన్ థింగ్ ఈ సృష్టి నడవాలి అంటే, ఈ సృష్టి ప్రపంచం నడవాలి అంటే, ఈ మేఘాలు వర్షాలు పడాలి అంటే ఈ యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతులు చదవాలి. నేచర్ మెయింటైన్ అవ్వాలి అంటే యజ్ఞయాగాది కృతులు నడవాలి. ఈ సృష్టి మెయింటైన్ అవ్వాలంటే యజ్ఞాగత కర్తులు నడవాలి. నడవకపోతే సృష్టి మెయింటెనెన్స్ జరగదు. సృష్టి మెయింటెనెన్స్ యజ్ఞాగత కర్తులు అవసరం. అందుకనే వేదాల్లో యజ్ఞాగత కర్తులు ఇంపార్టెంట్ చెప్పారు. లేకపోతే వేదాలు చెప్పాల్సిన అవసరమే లేదు కదా దేవుడికి, భగవంతుడికి.
ఈ మధ్య
వాతావరణం బాగుపడుతుంది
అండి,
టైంకి వర్షాలు కురుస్తాయి, అన్ని సవ్యంగా జరుగుతాయి. అది చేయవలసిన బాధ్యత బ్రాహ్మణుల మీద ఉంది అని చెప్తున్నారు. అందుకని ఆ బ్రాహ్మణుల్ని పోషించాలి అని చెప్తున్నారు. దాని రక్షణ కింద క్షత్రియులు అంటే గవర్నమెంట్ బిహేవ్ చేయాలి అని చెప్తున్నారు. దానికి రక్షణ కింద, ఆ యొక్క కార్యక్రమానికి రక్షణ కింద క్షత్రియులు బిహేవ్ చేయాలి అని చెప్తున్నారు. అంటే గవర్నమెంట్ బిహేవ్ చేయాలి ఆ విధంగా. దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా ధనం సంపాదించే వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళకి సహాయం చేయాలి అని చెప్తున్నారు రైతులు. ఈ మూడు చేయలేని ఈ ముగ్గురే ఉపనయనం చేసుకుంటారు. ఇంకోటి గమనించండి, ఈ ముగ్గురు ఉపనయనం చేసుకుంటారు. ఈ ముగ్గురు వేదాలు చదువుతారు. వీళ్ళకి జ్ఞానం ఉంది, వేద జ్ఞానం ఉంది వీళ్ళకి. ఈ ముగ్గురికి కూడా తెచ్చుకోవాలి, వేద జ్ఞానం తెచ్చుకోవాలి వీళ్ళు. ఆ వేద జ్ఞానంతో ఈ పనులు చేయాలి. నాలుగో వాడికి అది అక్కర్లేదు, వాడికి ఉపనయనం లేదు, వాడి వేద జ్ఞానం నేర్చుకోక్కల్లా. వాడు చేయవలసిందల్లా ఏమిటి, వాడికి ఎందుకుని వాడు చేయలేడు కాబట్టి వాడు వీళ్ళకి సహాయం చేయడం వరకే. వాడు చేసినా కూడా అంతే ఫలితం వస్తుంది. వాడికి నలుగురికి సమానమైన ఫలితం వస్తుంది. చేసేవాడు చేయించేవాడు, చేసేవాడు క్షత్రియుడు, చేయించేవాడు బ్రాహ్మణుడు, సహాయం చేసేవాడు వైశ్యుడు, దానికి సప్లై చేసేవాడు వైశ్యుడు, సహాయం చేసేవాడు శూద్రుడు. నలుగురికి సమానమైన ఫలితం వస్తుందని శ్లోకం ఉంది. ఇంకో శ్లోకం, నేను అవన్నీ చెప్పట్లేదు ఇప్పుడు. ఈ నలుగురికి సమానమైన ఫలితం వస్తుంది ఇంకో శ్లోకం ఉంది. కాబట్టి ఇంటర్ప్రిటేషన్ కరెక్ట్ గా చేసి కరెక్ట్ గా చెప్పాలి కామన్ మ్యాన్. ఈ రోజుల్లో చిన్నపిల్లలకి లాజిక్ చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇఫ్ యూ జస్ట్ టెల్ సంథింగ్ అండ్ జస్ట్ ఆస్క్ హిమ్ టు యాక్సెప్ట్ ఇట్, విల్ నాట్ యాక్సెప్ట్. అండ్ థియరీ షుడ్ బి వెరీ పర్ఫెక్ట్లీ టోల్డ్. ధర్మాన్ని కరెక్ట్ గా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. నేను అర్థం చేసుకుని రీచ్ అయిపోయాను టాప్ లెవెల్కి, నేను చెప్పినట్టు నువ్వు తెలిసేసుకో అంటే వీళ్ళు కాళ్ళు ఎరగొట్టు పడిపోతాడు. కింద లెవెల్లో కింద స్టెప్లో ఉన్నవాడు, పై స్టెప్లో ఉన్నవాడు, నేను పై స్టెప్ ఎక్కేశాను, నువ్వేమి ఎక్కలేదు, దూకకుండా అనుకోండి పైనుంచి కిందకి, వీడు దూకి ఇరుక్కొట్టుకుంటాడు కాళ్ళు. అది జరిగేది.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ రావు గారు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
నౌ ఐ థింక్
అదే భగవద్గీత నుంచి ఒక శ్లోకం సార్కి, అంటే సార్ చెప్పిన దానికి ఉటంకిస్తూ ఒక శ్లోకం చదువుతాను. ఒక్క నిమిషం, ఐ టేక్.
చదవండి సార్.
అన్నాత్ భవంతి భూతాని, ఇది చాప్టర్ 3 వర్స్ 14 కర్మయోగలో ఉందండి. అన్నాత్ భవంతి భూతాని పర్జన్యాదన్న సంభవ, యజ్ఞాత్ భవతి పర్జన్యో యజ్ఞ కర్మ సముద్భవ. Lord Krishna describes that rain beget rains. How grains are eaten and transformed into energy, our blood. From blood, strengthens the semen is created. From semen, seed come. Through seed, human body is created. And human beings perform yagnas, fire, whatever we discussed now, which causes rain. So the cycle continues. So human beings, while living constantly, interact with not only with Panchabhutas, but also they have to do their Yajna Kanda also. This is what has been told in chapter 3, verse 14, Karma Yoga, sir. This is what I would like to mention here. Thank you.
17 అధ్యాయాలు అయిపోయిన తర్వాత 18వ అధ్యాయంలో,
అయ్యా
17 అధ్యాయాలు చెప్పిన తర్వాత 18 అధ్యాయంలో కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ చెప్తాడు. ఏం చెప్తాడో వినండి. 3వ శ్లోకంలో,
అయ్యా
యాజ్యం దోషవదిచ్చేకే కర్మ ప్రాహుర్మనీషిణ యజ్ఞదాన తపకర్మ నత్యాజ్యమిది చాపరే.
అయ్యా
ఇది అన్ని అధ్యాయాలు అయిపోయిన తర్వాత చివరిలో చెప్తున్నది. లాస్ట్ లో మోక్ష సన్యాస యోగంలో చెప్తున్న శ్లోకం ఇది. మిగతావన్నీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్, ఒక్కొక్క దానికి ఒక్కొక్క సిచ్యువేషన్ ఇచ్చారు ఆయన ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ కృష్ణ పరమాత్మ. మోక్ష సన్యాస యోగంలోకి వచ్చేటప్పటికి ఫైనల్ గా మనం ఏం చేయాలో చెప్పారు. యజ్ఞదాన తపశ్చ కర్మ నత్యాజ్యమితి. నో, నాట్ అట్ ఆల్ లీవ్ ఇట్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు డూ ఇట్. సో అది 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 అంతా ఇసాల్ బుల్షిట్ అనో ఇంకేదో చెప్పామనుకోండి, దిస్ గివ్స్ అ రాంగ్ message to the younger children, younger generation. That's my submission to all people. మనం చెప్పాల్సింది ఎవరికది? ఒక లెవెల్కి రీచ్ అయిన వాడికి. ఒక లెవెల్కి రీచ్ అయ్యి ఒక స్టేజ్కి వచ్చేసిన తర్వాత వాడికి చెప్పవలసిన సూత్రం అది. నాట్ టు ది ఫస్ట్ స్టెప్ మ్యాన్. ధన్యవాదాలు. కొంచెం గట్టిగా చెప్పుంటే క్షమించాలి.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the advice. And now if nobody wants to ask any question, then I'll request Govindaraj Garu to chant Prarthana, please. Swasti Mantram.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतं सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति.
ధన్యవాదములండి గోవిందరాజ్ గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ. Now let us go for Janaganamana, national anthem.
जनगण अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय
जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్. నమస్కారం.
ధన్యవాదములండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. అండ్ లెట్ us థ్యాంక్ పురుషోత్తం గారు, రావు గారు.
అనేక అనేక ధన్యవాదాలు సార్ మీకు.
Thank you for all the people who participated in discussion and advised us. Everybody.